Remember all those elected Republicans who were fleeing the SS Trump-tanic over this past weekend? They have now literally become re-cucklicans. Jay Caruso at Red State took the New York Times headline and changed it to reflect a more accurate picture of what is happening with some GOP members of Congress just days after many of them were deserting Donald Trump. The headline was modified to read, "Some in GOP who deserted Donald Trump now searching for their balls," as though they ever had them to begin with. On Sunday morning, we published a comprehensive list at Red State of GOP politicians and other Re-cucklican politicos who were disavowing Donald Trump after the release of the now infamous Access Hollywood video, aka Pussygate. Caruso also wrote about the difficult position in which Ted Cruz finds himself, but who gives a bleep about Ted Cruz? At this point, he made his bed, now he has to lie in it. He's also wet his bed and shat his bed, and he still has to lie in it. Following the debate last Sunday, in what could be called a win for Trump, but the public seemed to think that Hillary Clinton emerged victorious by a 23-point margin in the CNN poll, some of the brave Re-cucklicans who had rescinded their endorsements and or told Trump that he should get out, as of today, are skulking their way back into Trump Tower, no doubt to be severely punished for their disloyalty. When Ted Cruz chose to endorse Donald Trump, despite signaling he would not, many people were horrified. And I reminded people politicians are always going to disappoint them. Now that said, there is a difference between making politically focused decisions, even ruthless, unprincipled ones, and just flat out cowardice. No scrote. And cowardice is exactly what is being exhibited by some in the GOP who are turning their backs on their own disavowals rather than keeping their backs turned on Trump. Here's a quote from the New York Times story aforementioned. Stung by a fierce backlash from Trumplicans, 4 Re-cucklican members of Congress who had made headlines for demanding that Trump leave the presidential race retreated quietly, embarrassingly, humiliatingly, and obsequiously and ignominiously this week, conceding that they would still probably vote for the man they had excoriated just days before. From Senator John Thune of South Dakota, the only member of the Re-cucklican leadership, it's hard to say, leadership in either chamber who had disavowed Trump, to Representative Scott Garrett of New Jersey, who was in a difficult re-election fight. The lawmakers contorted themselves over Trump, something he does not deserve. Some of them would not mention him by name, preferring instead to affirm their support for the generic Re-cucklican ticket, even though everybody knows who's heading it, still trying to grasp for a middle ground that does not exist. They said that if Trump would not make way for his running mate, Governor Mike Cuck Pence of Indiana, to lead the party after the release of a recording on Friday showing Trump bragging about groping women, they had little choice but to vote for their embattled, groping sexual predator of a nominee. Close quote with a little enhancement there at the end. Little choice. Did you say little choice? Ladies and gentlemen, this should be an easy choice. There should not be any choice. This shouldn't require any thought whatsoever. It should be like this. Is John Thune such a gutless wonder that he cannot stick to his guns over a statement he made on Twitter? Here's what he said last Saturday morning, quote, Donald Trump should withdraw and Mike Pence should be our nominee effective immediately. Apparently not. What does John change his Thune going to do now that more and far worse stories are coming out about his embattled nominee? And these are not stories that can be explained away with locker room talk, bullshit excuses. These are stories of women who say Trump moved on them without consent. Is Thune suddenly going to call on Trump to step aside again? I don't think so. He'd never. Not now. He's in his. I mean, I'm sure he's in an Iron Maiden somewhere in the basement of Trump Tower, being severely punished, tortured even, to administer the lesson or the penalty for disloyalty. I mean, the only conclusion you can draw is that Thune is stupid. A stupid politician. After telling Trump to step aside, he did a radio interview on Tuesday and said, I intend to support the nominee of our party, and if anything should change, then I'll let you know. Oh, what a tower of integrity and rock-ribbed dedication to principle, huh? I tell you what, never have I been more grateful. Not that I have any talent for it. I don't. You can tell. But never have I been more grateful that I never sought out a career in politics, folks. Never, never, never. If they can break Ted Cruz, I mean, if Ted Cruz can be forced to join the Washington cartel, then I'm glad that I can live with myself and not be put in these positions. Because I'll tell you what would happen. I wouldn't buckle, I would not conform, and I'd be out. That quickly. Just like that. So there it is. Thune's opening for saying again that Donald Trump should step aside if anything changes, but he's not going to take that risk again. He's not going to stick his neck out like this again. Not again. No, sorry. See, the problem with Senator Thune and Senator Deb Fischer, who too asked Trump to step aside but suddenly changed her mind on during a radio interview like Thune, is they've fallen into the trap of believing the foolish notion of this election being a binary choice, and that is flat out garbage. There is nothing dishonorable about voting for a third party or abstaining from voting all. In fact, if you're a conservative voter, if you're any voter, that is the only honorable step. If you're an American voter, the only way for you to retain your personal honor is to vote third party or not vote at all. Because if you cast a vote for either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, you own all this crap. You own all the further cataclysms that are coming. Your fingerprints are on it. And like I've said all week in all these Pussygate-related videos, Republicans will never scrub the Trump stink off of themselves ever. This is not just for this cycle. This is forever. Everybody who has supported this man is tainted. They will never escape that taint. I mean, voting is based upon casting a ballot for the person you feel best represents you, not just because the person has the same party registration. Senator Thune giving in to the foolish idea that he must support the nominee because they represent the same party reveals him to be just as much of an opportunist as Donald Trump. And he's far from alone. You want to know why I'm now and will forever remain a conservative independent? Here you go. Cowing to the screaming and yelling of angry Trumplicans, pardon the redundancy, on social media shows Dude is not fit to be in the leadership in Congress. You see, the GOP was supposed to be better than the Democrats. It's Democrats who are the ones who will wrap their arms around any louse who runs for office, not the Republicans. There has to be consequences for this kind of cowardice on the part of Re-cucklicans like John Thune and others like him who will not take a stand on something that is indefensible. But there won't be. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, when I say the Republican Party has already gone the way of the Whigs. The Republican Party is split, fragmented, shattered. It will not come together after the election, not even in the common cause of forming a resistance to Hillary Clinton. It will never come together again. The Democrats have done what Bill Clinton couldn't do, what Barack Obama couldn't do. Or if you want to go further back, what LBJ and JFK couldn't do, what FDR couldn't do. They have eliminated all organized resistance to the Democrat Party. And America is now a one-party, left-wing dictatorship run by the Democrats. And the man who pulled it off, Donald J. Trump. And that is his legacy.